Hi, GuidoFox here. Welkom bij een nieuw book report. And today I want to talk about this book, Avondland en Identiteit van Sid Lucassen. Evening, Country, and Identity. And it's a very interesting book. It's about society, analyze it. So I want to talk today with you about society, what's going on, history, and about sexuality and society. It's a very thick book and with a lot of information density. And so I have to search what is going on in this book, what is the red line here. And it was a little bit difficult because this writer goes from one topic to the other topic and goes deeper in some topic and coming back later on some topic. So it was for me quite difficult to search for the red line here, what's going on here, where the society, where you want to go with the society, right? That's the main question always when you write a book about politics and about society is where you want to go. What is your vision about the society? Where it leads, and that's kind of missing in this book is from I read it from start to end, and I'm not really come to the clue what this guy wants to with this society, and that's a little bit frustrated. But I found very interesting topics in this book where we can talk about, and there are actually three big topics, and that is what is civilization and what is building a civilization. And that is quite interesting. I think we have to talk also about sexuality and society, hot topic, and about attraction. Also, there is very interesting, and about social atonism. That's also an interesting topic. Okay, we are more individuals, and how we deal with that fact that we are more individual self development. We are more independently from old small social dynamic structuring, and how we incorporate that in our society until so far and also in the future. So three topics: what is civilization and how we build in the past also civilizations. Two, sexuality and society and attraction. I think that's a very interesting topic to discuss. And three is social atonism, how we deal with individuality and society. First, I want to discuss with you civilization. A very important question there is, do we really live in a civilization? We as Western guys, as Western politicians or as Western leaders, we always talk about Western civilization. We are a civilization. We are so proud. But do we live really in a civilization? Is where we live in not a natural, suppressed emotional, suppressed sexual society? Is that a civilization or not? You can think about that, right? Do we really live in a civilization or not? And what is exactly a civilization? Is there some standards or something for what is a civilization or what is not a civilization? But let's say that we pick out our Western society, that is the mainstream civilization. So we have courts, we have police systems, we have healthcare systems, we have a kind of social financial system, right? If we are falling down in some income, the government pass by there to support you in life. So we have some water protection here in the Netherlands, and the government is taking care of it. So you can say, okay, that is some issues from a civilization. But there are two big streams in philosophy, and I have to explain it to you why the Western world is kind of civilized, and people in Africa and that kind of failed states, group fights, poor countries, there is actually not a high level of so-called civilization. Why is that? And you have there several streams in the philosopher world, and one side is Freud, Unwin, and also Sid, and they are saying actually we can only build a civilization if there is sexual sublimation. And I have to explain that. What is sexual sublimation? Sexual sublimation or sexual repression, what Osho is saying is that you not follow your real natural core to go for virality with women and spend time for that goal, to go for evolution. You want to have more women as a man, you like variety, you want to have more children by different females, and also females I know from the book Sperm Wars that also women like in several period of the month, that they also like to have more, let's say, attention from different men. Some competition there to get the most high quality seed into the womb. So also both male and both female like to have variety and also attention. Maybe attention is very big here. So what Unwin and Freud and Sid actually saying, okay, if we not following our natural core, we can save time. We going in a marriage, one partner, and then all the extra time you have, we can invest in building a so-called civilization. So that is what Unwin was saying, Freud was saying, and Sid was saying. They say, okay, we have to suppress our sexuality, and if we suppress our sexuality, then we can build up a civilization. That is one big mainstream philosopher meaning, opinion about how we build up a civilization. So they see the world as building up mechanism because we suppress our natural feelings. Then we have other stream in the philosopher world, that is the stream from Wilhelm Reich, Osho, me, and also in the foreword from Jerry Baudet. And actually we are on the same line. And what we seeing is that actually sexual frustration is very destructive, and that can lead to war, to conflict, to fights, street fights, So what we are seeing is that sexual frustration leads to a so-called civilization where people are unhappy. And that is also my opinion. I see the most sexual free persons are much more happy with their life, and there's no suppression. They're calm and relaxed, and they functionate better in life. It's very healthy to have some sexual variation and touching with more people. I think there's nothing wrong about that. Um, and that's also what Osho was writing in his books. Also, 70% of the mental diseases are related to our monogam suppressed conditioning. 70%, that's amazing. It is a huge count. So 70% of our mental diseases, think about burnout, stress, depressions, are related to our monogam conditioning, where you're not able to touch other people, to hug other people, to have sex with other people. How beautiful is that? So that is the discussion. Are we going for a civilization where sex is repressed, or are we going to a civilization where sex is repressed with emotional pains, or we go to a society where sex is repressed and we can build up a civilization? And I thought about it, and I think the assumption that sexual suppression leads to a so-called civilization is false. I think Unwin, Freud, Sid is incorrect here. Incorrect. I think a free sexual society leads to an energy explosion. Leads to energy. And if you have energy and enough sexual experience in your life and enough touchings, you get energy, and that energy you can invest in a healthy civilization. So sex makes energy, and that is what I see actually in my surroundings too. How more people are sexual open, how more everything is flowing. I have energy to make this book report. I have energy to write my blogs. I have energy to give something back to the society. So I think it is very false, very stupid, like Unwin and Freud, who are saying we have to suppress our sex because otherwise we cannot build up a civilization. Secondly, if you see in poor countries, in uncivilized countries as we see it with our Western arrogance, they are much more happy, the people. People are much more happy in small nature groups. They are much more happy than we are. And B, the climate. The climate is very important for building up a civilization. The Western Europe civilization is built on rain. We have rain. We have water that comes out the sky. We have a perfect climate for civilization. It is not too hot. I mean, if you live on the horizon where it is 30-40 degrees, you're sweaty as hell if you walk 2 hours outside or inside. It's very warm, right? Why you should build up a civilization? Why you should do that? You become lazy, right? If it's so hot. So climate is so important also to build up a civilization. That's, I think, a very big argument about the false assumption from Sid, Freud and Unwin about that you need sexual suppression to build up a civilization. So that is actually what you see. I think that is also where this book has to be about, right? Sexuality and society. You see also a very beautiful picture here with a woman and a horse. So the title has to be changed. The title of that book has to be Sexuality and Society, where we have to go. So I think we are now on a stage where we're going to combine civilization with their nature man. And that's also what you're seeing nowadays. People are wearing barefoots, people are going ice baths, people are going to the gym every day, they're hanging on stuff. So we are searching for our nature human being in ourselves. So we're going to combine the nature man and civilization, togetherness. So say goodbye to monogam conditioning, say goodbye to that distraction by monogamy. We were stopping with that. We were making love as much we can. Because how more love we make, how less war, how less conflict. Why I should go to the battlefield if I can make love. Why I should do that. Violence and conflict are suppressed sexuality. Are deeply, deeply, deeply suppressed sexuality. So where we have to go, Sid? Where we have to go? We have to go to an enlightened society, a free sexual society where there is an energy explosion without jealousy, without shame, who was incorporated from old Christian structures, right? Old Christian structures, victimization, attention to weakness, and the bird sin, right? Adam and Eva. So they incorporated shame and guilty feelings where the sexual open society not can exist. So sexual openness, variety, and relaxing leads to, I think, a more lovable, a more mental healthy society, and you can transfer that creative sexual energy into innovation powers, into work effort, right? Into your work. If you have a nice sexual event, you have more energy during the day, you have more energy during the days after. So we can transfer all those energy into a very more healthy civilization. So I am from the stream Osho, Wilhelm Reich, Baudet also here, a small sentence about that, about sexual frustration and people. So there it has to go. There it has to go. So that is the small analysis about civilization. Where is civilization coming from and how we can more happy, right? That's the most important. How we can more happy in the civilization we have. Sid was voting that there is now more sexual inequality because the resources are more equal. I have to explain that because we have now a social justice system, right? If you have a low income, you can go to the government supports you. There are so more equal resources, and what Sid was saying here, that it leads to more sexual inequality as a kind of waterbed effect. So now there's more competition on the relationship market, and in the past there was marriage, and you learn each other by the church, and then you go into marriage, and it's more fixed standard patterns in the society. And nowadays it's more competition about man and female, but I don't see there is a lot of inequality. I mean, it is still monogam conditioning what is number one. If you see also in schools with young children, you know, you always say, I have with this guy a relationship, or I have with this girl a relationship. And so the monogam conditioning is still there. So I don't see this inequality. I mean, in the society. So I disagree here with Sid. I think there's more equality. I mean, there are a lot of people have more chances on the dating market. It's easier to connect with each other, easier to bond, easier to say goodbye to each other. So I think there's much more equality in these days than inequality. And of course, you can work on yourself. That's also what I wrote down here. I mean, it's up to you, right? And that's maybe a subject for later. What's attraction? How you can work as a man? About yourself, your development skills, your male skills, but not your female skills. Very important. I think you forget that a lot in the book. It's about masculinity and male dominant attitudes, but it is more than that. Attraction is also your female part, your soft part, your intuition, your caring part. That's also very interesting. Your listening part as a man and understand social dynamics. So there's much more than masculine, the masculine approach. I disagree there too. So we say on page 15, intellectuals has no chance on the dating market. Women are going for the masculine guy. I find that a quite simple analysis, because you see a lot of women are really going also for high intellectuals, because they know that they earn probably more money than only the guy who is masculine and is going to the gym. And a woman likes also when a man is earning good money, also for the children, and some comfortable issue here, of course. So I don't see that intellectuals have no chance. But I can understand also the women also wants to have a man who can turn her on, right? Bring her on fire. And intellectuals are more rational and don't get that in touch, don't fire up the women, and that's what you need, right? So a masculine guy can more easily bring her on fire, right? And have more chance on short sex adventures with the women. So in that kind of I agree with Sid about intellectuals has no chance. But I think in the relationship market, intellectuals have more chance than masculine guys. And I mean, if you're smart, if you're intellectual, you hire a dating coach. If you're really smart, you work on yourself. You can learn easier because you're smart. You can go now into pickup. You can know about social dynamics. You can learn easy from others, from other dating coaches. So you can work on yourself. So I think intellectuals have nowadays can have an advantage, can have a good chance on the dating market because they're smart and they know what you can have to say to women to attract and what you don't have to say. You can learn. Here's also self-development is kicking in, right? Self-development is the future. So if you're smart, you're going in self-development and you learn. You learn how to go with girls. You learn how to deal with girls. You learn how to deal with drama. How to talk. So you can learn, right? Nowadays you can learn as intellectuals. So I think you have as intellectuals a lot of chances here. And I mean, as an intellectual guy, you can also go to the gym, right? There's no reason to not go to the gym. You can combine brains with muscle. That's the future. We are now the total human principle. We combine masculine with brains. Yeah, full human approach. So you can, as intellectual guy, also do the gym. It's up to you, right? How you want to develop yourself, how you want to be. You can be a powerful man. You can decide if you walk on the street and you talk to someone, okay, I want to have a date with you or not. Right? You can be powerful. It's up to you. You can be a powerful sexual man. You can become an alpha male. You can work on yourself. So that's what I see in this book. It's a lot about masculine, dumb guys have easier access to women than intellectuals. There's some frustration also from the Friday here. I think that's going on. So I can only say you can work on your self-confidence with women. And if you can work on yourself, you can have the power back. So, monogamy is slave morality. That's also what you see by Nietzsche, right? Slave morality. Monogamy is slave morality. So that's also some parts. I want to talk with you about subject 2, that is social atonism. And social atonism is Freud about it in a negative way. You see that people becoming more individual and saying goodbye to old structures like church, family, companies. People are moving from company to company, moving from girl to girl, from man to man. And people are searching for their spiritual grow, not anymore by one church and one guy who's telling a story there, but people are going for spiritual grow to different teachers. So you see more flexibility in the society, and not that people are staying fixed in fixed group dynamics. And he says it's not good. We have to have tighten relationships. That's very good because we need friends forever. We need friends forever, and it's good for the stability in the society and that kind of stuff. I disagree. I was thinking about this subject for a long time, but let me say, Jesus was the first example of social atonism. Jesus, the guy who was starting Christianity, was a social atomic guy. He was alone. He was traveling around. He was seeing a lot of people from his 14 to 30 years old. So you're going against Christianity if you say there's a problem here. Quite funny, right? We are stepping out of the small group dynamics. That is going on here. We're saying goodbye to family. We're saying goodbye to small, tightened relationships, like the church or the school or whatever. You see a lot of people are stepping out of school systems. We don't accept this machinery anymore. This machine, we are machines, right? We go for ourselves, we go for our freedom. And you can learn from different people. If you're moving around like Jesus as a social atomic guy, you can learn from different people. You can learn from different teachers. That's your path. We're going to more freedom way of living and more learnable. You can learn easy from more people. We are not anymore in a society when you do 1 year, you work in an office, and then the next 10 years you're doing actually the same what you did in the first year. We're stepping out of that. We want to learn every year something new. That's the future. That's how relationships are going to be. It will be a learning curve for you. You learn 1 year, and then you go to another relationship, and then you go to another relationship, and you learn from each other. And if you don't like it anymore with each other, And if you fight and stay fighting, or we go to another woman or another guy, and we learn and cross over in multi-dynamic relationships. That's where we're going on. So we follow the path of Jesus. We follow the path of Jesus here. Jesus was a social atonic guy. You have to be alone to grow to God. You have to be alone for your spirit to grow. If you can be happy alone, you never grow in your spiritual levels. You never grow in happiness. You have to be complete happy with your aloneness. So nihilism, social atonism and nihilism, it's up to you. What are you doing in your aloneness? Life, you can make sense. Life sense. You can make something from your life, right? You can step out of small social circles with all those quarreling and power ego mechanisms. You can step out of that. It's not necessary for your happiness. The only thing is love and meditation. How more insecure you are, how more unhappy you are, how more you want to be involved with other people and groups and small social dynamics. Are you so alone, then you go to a church. Are you so unhappy, then you go to a church. If you're so unhappy and insecure, I want to have a group. I want to have a group. I can tell my horrible stories to them. I can put my emotions there in the group. I need support. I want to be in a group. How less secure people are, how more unhappy they are. They want to be attached by a group. That's what you see. And Jesus not. Jesus was secure. Jesus was happy, so he didn't need a group. He was walking around and have different groups. So also there, social atonism, individualism is good. Very good that people are going for freedom. Freedom is the highest good. Without freedom, no love is possible. So freedom is very good. We have to step out the small social dynamics. Osho, family is dead. Yeah, the family is dead. The family is not supportive anymore to the individual. So family is going on. Religion, the old religion structures are going on. Nationalities are also going on. We are less attached to a nation feeling anymore. Less and less we are connected with our national identity. You see, information streams are going so high and so fast over the world. We are more connected with each other. So there's less space for national identity here. We are more individual and we can talk to each other as individuals. So we see more and more that more important is what you are, what kind of person you are. Are you a good person, lovable person? You are a person who is constructive to the world. That becomes much more important than from which family you are, which nationality you are, which kind of church group you come from, right? So we step out of small social circles and we go into another identity. And that's also what I'm missing in this book. What is identity? What is identity? Which identity? Where we have to go, right? How is the identity changing from countries, from the world, from people? What is identity? So we're going to combine civilization and nature. That is what's going on now in the future. Civilization and nature. More nature. more nature hunting, right? If you hunt, you're not fixed in the group, right? You're hunting lonely hunters. Lonely hunters. There we are going. Wilhelm Reich was saying on page 121 some very interesting stuff. He say fascism is the cause of fascism is the suppression of sexual energy. Yes, he's right there. Sexual suppression leads to violence and war. So fascism is group. We talk about group thinking, and if you're insecure and if you're very needy and lonely, then you want to become a group. And that's what you see also by fascism. We are angry, we are fearful, we are so angry. So then we have to go to a group to ventilate your emotions, to transfer your emotions, right? To vibrate your emotions so they're coming out through groups. So fascism is based on sexual repression. We are so angry in these fixed systems. I want to have sex with more people. It cannot. So we go transfer into violence and war. We are frustrated. So Wilhelm Reich was very, very right here when he said that sexual suppression leads to violence. And what Wilhelm Reich was saying here, okay, we have to stop with it. We have to more free sexual society, and then we can go to a revolutionary awareness level. And that's correct. We're going to a higher stage of consciousness if we're free and more open to each other and more touchable. Geestelijk ontwaken van de massa. Spiritual awakening of the crowd. The spiritual awakening of the crowd, right? The crowd was always suppressed by church and state to be monogam, to be in a marriage. State and church have the power if they can control that system. You're here, marrying, children, conformism, following the group, conditionings, then we have control. And nowadays you see we are not believing in that system anymore, we're stepping out. We're stepping out, we shoot for freedom, right? Freedom what to do in your life. Freedom to do. And then you get more equality because you have more love, sex makes sex. And people are coming more in a market when they have more choice. More choice, more sexuality, because you can't make sex with one partner whole your life long, but you can also share 3 times love with 3 different partners per week. So you have more energy to give, and people can also more get from you, right? So it is a win-win situation here. So there come more sexual equality there. You become less critical. If you're in a monogam conditioning, you become very, very critical with who I want to have a relationship, because it's very definitive. It's very long-term structuring. So you have to be critical with who you goes in a relationship dynamics, right? And now, if we are more open sexual, you become less critical because you think, okay, I want to make love with her just for 2 hours, and it's fine. It was a love for 2 hours. How beautiful that is. It's a love for 2 hours. Or 1 hour. And she goes further. That's okay. I'm okay with that. She's okay with that. She brings her energy into society, or she brings her sexuality to another partner or other guy. It's okay. So more chances to give. That means more sexual equality. So there's more sexual equality here. That's important to understand. How more sex, how more sexual variety, how more chances for everyone to get involved. Because you can say easier goodbye to people. So, very interesting. How more sex, how more variety, how more touching, how more people can go by the market. How more equality. How more equality and a bigger chance that everyone can share from each other. So more equality. There's Wilhelm Reich, very interesting guy here. I support his opinion, is right. More equality if you have more sex and diversity. And there's no consequence because we have now condoms, right? So in the past, there was always a chance that there comes a child and you have to care for a child and blah 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 blah. But nowadays we can touch each other, and that's important. Touching is healing. We can touch each other without the consequences. And I was thinking about the subject too. One side, there's no less responsibility, true that. But there's more touching. How more touching, how more healing. We can heal ourselves through touching. And we want a healing society, because a healing society is a less suppressed society. It's a more lovable society. It's a non-violent war conflict society. So now we're going back to the first subject. What's building up civilization? What is building up a healthy civilization? That's interesting, right? Very interesting how the subjects work here. Less sexual suppression, more healthy, civilized, innovative, creative society, because we can transfer the sexual energy into a creative, energetic way of living. What is attraction? Sid is constantly talking about masculinity and you have to be dominant as a man. What is attraction? It's a combination. Intellectual and brains and masculine. You can combine it. You can go to the gym. You can work on yourself. You can work on your genes, right? It's a combination from male and female characters. Balance makes you more attractive. Balance energy, male and female energy combined in an androgen form. So we're moving, the alpha male is in the alpha female is also both man and female. They have the energies balanced in themselves. They have qualities as a male, but also qualities as a female, and they can shift from both sides. So attraction is more than only masculinity and dominance. That's too simple. That's no attraction. Much more. Much more. Women love brains too, really. But you have to bring the women also on fire. And that's what's difficult if you're staying in your mind. If you stay rational in dates, then it doesn't work out. You don't seduce a woman with rationality. You seduce a woman with emotions. Bring her in another world, bringing her in calmness, peaceful, touching ways, telling stories about yourself, about what you did in your holidays, right? Storytelling, very interesting. So, more emotional. You have to give her the emotional spikes. That is what attraction is. It's not only masculine or dominance, absolutely not. That's not attractive. No way. So there are some critics here, Western women and slut-conditioning, and that's what sits constant Friday, that women are in their ego and see sex as straight issue, and I can follow that reasoning quite well. That is true. You see a lot of women in group dynamics, they're watching to each other and they don't want to be seen as a slut. So-called slut conditioning. And I have to be a little bit careful here because otherwise I'm a women hater. But I don't think I'm a women hater. But what you see nowadays, that there's a big pressure to be sexual open. And only the alpha female is very open, has a lot of boyfriends and likes to have sex. So also there you see the alpha female don't like this kind of social pressure. So she's stepping out of this. She don't take care about it. She's strong enough to go beyond this society conditionings. But a lot of females are aware of that, and I see the less pretty women are mostly saying to herself, I'm not a slut, I'm not a slut. So that's what you see nowadays, that the less attractive women are pumping up their value to say, I'm not a slut, I don't go to bed with you so easily. And they are waiting 3 dates, and then probably say yes, or who goes. And that's what you see nowadays from that women are talking to each other and say, I don't give him sex so easily. He has to wait 3 dates to show himself, and he has to fight for me, and he really wants to go for me, otherwise I don't give him sex. And what you're doing with yourself as a woman is you're playing power game from the beginning. So what you're doing is saying, okay, before the meeting, you say already no sex. We have to wait 3 days, 3 dates. So you're playing power game, rational power game. You are in your mind. You're not in your compassion. You're not in your intuition. You're not in your flow, right? You're out of flow. You're thinking about your group. You're thinking about slut conditioning. Where are you? Are you not enjoying your time? You're not relaxing and let it be how it is. So you're more in your mind, and your mind is always fear. So that's what slut conditioning is doing with you. So let the moment decide. Be in the moment, and if the moment feels good to have sex with this guy within an hour, it's okay. It's okay to have sex with someone within an hour. Why not? It's beautiful, right? To touch and to heal and to enjoy the beautiful things on earth. Why you should wait? Why you should wait? So that's A, right? A is mind. You're in your mind, you're not in your moment, and you play ego power games to don't give him sex. Don't give the guy sex. If it feels good, it feels good. If it not feels good, it not feels good. That's very important. Awareness is the key. Awareness is the key. So I don't go for these women anymore. I want to have sex within 1 hour. Then there's nothing wrong with the women. She has not a horrible past, or she has slut conditionings. She's following their intuition, and she's following their feelings. I find it very more important by a woman. So I have mostly sex within 1 hour. I only go for a relationship with a woman if I had sex with her in 1 hour. Otherwise not. Otherwise not. Then she's too much society programmed. She's too much society programmed. I don't like that. I don't like that. B, if you act as a woman like that, you're cutting yourself in your finger because you're disturbing love. Sex leads to love. Sex leads to lovable relationships. How more sex people have together, how longer sex they have together, how more happy they are, more lovable situations. So you show your feelings, right? If you wait too long, your body will telling to you that you don't like this guy, or this guy is no match, or your feelings are not coming up because you're blocked and you didn't have sex with this guy earlier. So your body is working against you. So I should recommend as a coach, as a dating coach or relationship coach, go when it feels good. Give this guy sex if it feels good. And of course you can be hurt. Let you hurt yourself. You can handle that, right? If you be hurt, you get used to be hurt. But you have shown your vulnerability. You've shown your kwetsbaarheid, your vulnerability. You're open. I prefer a woman who is open and can be hurted. And we are so closed in our society. We have a wall. We have such a wall in ourselves. Such a wall. We don't let people come in. And sex can be hurted, right? If you make love with each other, it can be hurted, right? Let yourself hurt. And as a man too. Women are mostly thinking that men don't have feelings. Of course I have feelings. I get feelings when I have sex with someone. Really. I'm very open and vulnerable character. I'm very sensitive. So I get also feelings for women. And if she don't want to meet up second time or third time, I'm okay with that. But I'm also hurt. There are always people hurt. But that's okay. That's life. I'm open. I can be hurt. And I have beautiful times, right? But I don't say, hey, I don't want to have sex with you only after 3 dates. What's this, right? I let the moment decide. I stepped out of these slut-conditionings. So, overall, we have to be more open. An open, more aware sexual society, I think, without repressions. I think we are then a first step forward in our society. I think there's no need for war, conflict, stealing, criminality, right? There's no reason if you make love why you should go into criminality and that kind of stuff. Why we should go in conflict, in war, right? If you can make love with multiple men or women, or enjoy it more from each other. So if you see all those material, what he was summing up in his book, I think the main issue here is how to build up a healthy civilization. How to build up a healthy civilization. That is where this book has to be more about it. How to build up a healthy civilization. And I think I talked about that issue. I talked about attraction. I talked about sexuality and civilization building and sexual sublimation. And about social atonism, that is not really bad. I think it's not a bad thing. I think it's a very natural thing, social atonism. So that's my view, that's my vision about society and about a more happy society. Too much people are unhappy in the society. They don't live the life they want to live, or they don't live the life they want to live that they didn't know how you can live your life. That's also something interesting, right? A lot of people live their life, but they don't know what's plan B or what is plan C. Because they don't know what is B and what is C. So personal development, you can grow in your attraction with women. You can heal yourself. You can be a better person. So that's where it's about, I think, this book. We have to think about ourselves, our search for our own mirrors in life, and also think how we can improve our society. How we can improve our way of living. And that is interesting, right? That's interesting. Thanks for this book. And I wish you a very, very good day. Bye bye.